I'm in a town called Cherros, which is in northeastern Poland. It's in the Suwałki region. What I've got now to my right is the former Jewish cemetery of this town. Now, to give you some geographical orientation, Przerośl was very close to the border with Germany, so it was really what, 3-4 kilometers, something like that. Indeed, part of Przerośl, I think it's Nowy Przerośl, is would have been in Germany had the border stayed in the same place. Of course, it's been called something else. Jews have been here since the 16th century, or were here as from the 16th century, and they would have made up a significant part of the population of the town. Now, given its location very close to the German border, given the pogroms of the Russian Empire, many people sought to leave, and this even continued during the period of Polish independence, so that by the time of the beginning of the Second World War, around 25% of the population were Jewish, approximately. And of the town itself was occupied by the Soviets on the 24th of September 1939, and the Nazis, Germans, came in 4 days later. Now, as the Soviets came in, as they do today, the Russians in Ukraine, first thing they did, loot everything and help themselves to what they want. So by the time the Germans actually came, there would probably have been very little left. Many of the people here, Jewish people, were in businesses. A number of, for example, breweries and other manufacturing was in the hands of Jewish people. The Jews that were here, as in many areas in the Suwałki region, they were, in 1939, they were deported initially to Suwałki, and from there they found their way to places like Międzyrzec and Łuków, amongst others. I've filmed the ghettos there, and you can actually see what they look like. This cemetery, like that many, was finally closed in 1964. Only one Jewish person from Przerośl survived the war. He did this by ending up in depth of the Soviet Union. Then he joined the Jewish Brigade of the British Army. I've done a video on them as well, and I'll leave you a link to that. The rest ended up, I imagine most of the others actually starved to death in the ghettos in Międzyrzec and Łuków. They'd have lost everything. First, the Soviets looted what they had, then the Nazis took whatever they wanted, and they would have been destitute by the time they got to Suwałki and thrown onto the charity of the Jewish self-help organizations in Międzyrzec and in Łuków. And so that's what the cemetery looks like there. And as now, as I understand, there's about 30 matzevas in there. It's been pouring with rain, and I had understood from press articles which I read before coming here that this had been recently organised. It had been I do expect it to be a bit overgrown, but given the way I'm dressed, given the weather, I'm unwilling to actually go in there and start looking for matzevas. Also, I've got to be at the hospital in an hour's time, so that doesn't help as well. I got bitten by a dog, and I've got to do a course of rabies injections. So that's my excuse for not doing anything else there. Przerośl itself, there was a synagogue in the main square. Most of the houses in the main square actually belong to Jews. Yeah, we'll walk into the town and watch that talk. And we've got some wonderful old wooden buildings. And now it's gone 8 in the morning, and it's a Friday morning, it's a working day, not a Sunday or something, and there's next to nobody around. That's the sort of thing that appeals to me. It's August. Sorry, it's not August, it's July. It's a Friday in July, and it's the last Friday in July. And the weather, well, you can see what it's like, but this year it's been unusually bad. Now, the Suwałki region was annexed to Nazi Germany, and although I would have to say that other than for the Jews, the deportations weren't the same as they were in the areas to the west, such as West Prussia or the Vaterland, where there was huge amounts of deportations of Polish people. It was less so here, but all the same, it can't have been very pleasant living here, even for non-Jews in these times. It needs to be borne in mind, the time of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, that Poland, between the Vistula and the Bug, was given to the Soviet Union, and Lithuania, thanks to this treaty, was awarded to Germany. Stalin decided to change his mind, asked if he could renegotiate, and he got Lithuania, which he invaded the following year, and Nazi Germany got the land between the Vistula and the Bug. So therefore, originally places like, for example, Lublin had been awarded to Soviet Union by this pact. I don't know if awarded is the right word, but seems to be in the circumstances. Now you see a lot of these sort of old wooden buildings here in the main square. It's really quite attractive. At the border, although because I've got to be in the hospital, I wanted to see if I could work out where it was. Fortunately, the maps I've got just aren't accurate enough, and so it is quite difficult to work out, but you can tell from the architecture. I mean, Poland, this part of Poland, or not so much this part, the other part of Poland on the German side, former German side, it's been Poland for 80 years, more than 80 years, but the architecture of its houses is so different. It really, it jumps up at you to see it. And so this is how I feel I'm in my element, travelling around Poland in the summer, doing these history tours, and I find it very interesting, even if the subject matter I do is somewhat difficult. So, thanks very much for watching. Hope you found that interesting, but a lot more information related to Jewish life in Poland before the war. So if you're interested in that type of thing, then please subscribe. But for the moment, all the best from me in northeastern Poland. Bye for now.